Go, bro, go.
I'm almost glad you'll never see your son again.
Why? What did I do? I said let's do it.
No, back him off me. Back him off me. I swear to God, man. Oh, my grave. My grave.
The sister of a St. Paul woman killed by domestic violence is speaking out and hoping to help others. Prosecutors charge Mark Bell with shooting and killing his girlfriend, Latifa Brown, back in January.
They said she had been shot.
Buffy Brown thinks about her sister Latifa every day
It ended my world.
and the life she could have had.
The moment he put his hands on her for the first time with a belt, I knew right then. I think Latifa was like one of those women out there, who believe that, you can change them.
But things never changed until the police told her it was too late.
And I say, no, you lying. I spoke to her.
This is the story of 31-year-old Latifa Brown, a mother of a 1-year-old who was in a long-time relationship with her boyfriend and father of her child, 36-year-old Mark Bell. The relationship was toxic and abusive, with the couple frequently breaking up and getting back together. One day after a night out at the bar, the two would get into an argument that would escalate, resulting in Mark taking Latifa's life. Her tragic death would be witnessed and recorded by their neighbors. What happened that night and how could an argument between Mark and the mother of his child escalate to murder? Welcome to Viral Crimes. Subscribe and hit the bell icon for more stories. This story takes us to St. Paul, Minnesota. Latifa Brown, 31, loved to cook and had a fun, playful side.
When you know you're cute and you still accept all your flaws.
Her sister Buffy Brown said she was always spreading love around. She was a mother to a 1-year-old son who she adored and would do anything for. Latifa was in a relationship with 36-year-old Mark Antonio Bell, who was also the father to her 1-year-old son. The two were in a relationship for 11 years, and reportedly Mark abused Latifa physically and mentally throughout the relationship, but against the advice of loved ones, she refused to leave him. Latifa's sister Buffy explained that the moment Mark hit her sister with a belt, she knew there was abuse. She reported that her home was a safe place for her sister, Latifa, to escape when things got really bad with Mark. She would only stay for a day or two and then leave, Buffy said. She'd tell us things like, "Oh, he bought me flowers," or "he said he was sorry." Despite Buffy's attempts to convince her otherwise, Latifa always went back to Mark. "I think Latifa was one of those women who believed she could change him, or that if she waited long enough, he would change on his own and get help," she said. In 2018, Latifa filed a police report stating that Mark had threatened to kill both her and her sister. Unfortunately, the city attorney's office didn't press charges due to a lack of evidence. Latifa and Mark's relationship was marked by frequent arguments, and tragically, one of these disputes would lead to a devastating outcome. Shortly after midnight on Saturday, the St. Paul police received a distressing 911 call, reporting an altercation followed by gunfire. Officers rushed to the scene at the 40 block of Lighton Place, where they found a woman in her early 30s lying outside, suffering from a gunshot wound to her mouth. The officers acted swiftly, administering first aid and calling for medical assistance. However, despite their efforts, the woman was pronounced dead upon the arrival of medical personnel. When the police arrived, they found two men inside the house. Both were taken to the police station for questioning. One of them was identified as Latifa's boyfriend Mark. The other man explained to investigators that he and Mark were attempting to help Latifa into a minivan to rush her to the hospital. According to Mark's account to the investigators, in the early hours of January 22, after he and Latifa returned home from a bar, they got into a heated argument. Mark claimed that Latifa, who was licensed to carry a firearm, brandished her gun at him multiple times, and he feared for his life, believing she intended to harm him. Mark alleged that he heard the distinct sound of Latifa's gun mechanism clicking as she aimed it at him. In a panicked response, he grabbed another gun belonging to Latifa and discharged it away from her, mistakenly thinking he hadn't hit her. However, Latifa collapsed, prompting Mark's immediate efforts to bring her outside in an attempt to rush her to the hospital. Despite his frantic attempts, Latifa tragically succumbed to her injuries at the scene in the North End. A neighbor gave the police a recording where Latifa and Mark were arguing loudly. Latifa repeatedly told Mark to leave her alone, and the neighbor even shouted at Mark to go away. The argument escalated, and Latifa swore at Mark. Then there was a loud gunshot, and Latifa's voice went silent.
That's all my mama
Hey, yo, bro, hey, honestly, bro, just leave, if you're going to take this, bro, go.
Why? What did I do? I said let's do it. Back up off me. I swear to God, man. Why? Oh, my granny's grave. They too bad to my granny. You did. You know. No Marcus. Fuck no mom. I swear to God, I'm flying with everybody else, niggas. Get your son. I'm flying with every other bitch ass nigga. I promise you, nigga. Oh, my God. I swear to God, I'm flying with every one of the bitch ass niggas. Come on now. Nigga, I'm flying with your mama, nigga. Fuck you, nigga. Oh, man. Come on now, man. I'm sorry, man. Come on, man. Oh, hell no. Oh, people. No! 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 Come on, man! I'm going to prison! Come on, man! What the fuck?
My sister was here, y'all. This is the house she lived in. And they got the yellow tape up, you guys, because the crime scene people are here. As you can see, they got the yellow tape. This is where she was. And the cops is out here. And as you can see, and they're here. And this is her house. She did the decorations on the window. She was here.
Mark was arrested and accused of killing Latifa. He agreed to a plea deal and admitted guilt to second-degree intentional murder, not premeditated.
Buffy Brown thinks about her sister Latifa every day.
It ended my world.
And the life she could have had. A young woman who wanted to become a nurse and raise a family.
Have that life of getting married and having, the happiness.
Brown says her sister was trying to find that happiness with Mark Bell.
I knew something was wrong.
She says the two dated for about 11 years, but the physical and mental abuse only got worse.
The moment he put his hands on her for the first time with a belt, I knew right then.
Brown says her home was a haven for her sister to get away when things got really bad.
Like always, she only stayed a day, 2 days, and then she left. And she'd tell us too, oh, he bought me flowers, or, he said he was sorry.
Brown says no matter what she'd try to say, Latifa always went back.
Well, I think Latifa was like one of those women out there, who believe that, you can change them.
But things never changed until the police told her it was too late.
And I said, no, you lying. And I spoke to her. And they were like, no, we're sorry. And I was like, no.
Now she's speaking out to share her sister's story in hopes of helping others.
Your life matters to people who love you, for those you love, because you deserve so much more than that. You're worthy of greatness. Latifa's life, she was worthy of greatness.
Pauline Lee, WCCO 4 News.
Brown family is raising money through a GoFundMe to fight for custody of Latifa's 1-year-old son. The boy is currently staying with Bell's family.
During his sentencing, he apologized, saying his actions were cowardly and a mistake, claiming self-defense. He regretted his choice and wished he had acted differently. However, Latifa's family argued that Mark had the option to walk away from the situation, but didn't, instead choosing to escalate it. They confronted him in court, labeling him a coward and a monster. They believed the 20-year sentence given to Mark was insufficient punishment for his actions, expressing dissatisfaction with the legal outcome. Mark's sentence, in line with his plea deal, was shorter than what the state guidelines typically recommend. In Minnesota, most inmates serve around 2/3 of their sentence in prison and the rest under supervised release. This means Mark might serve around 13 years. Kalinsha Harris, a cousin of Latifa's, expressed dissatisfaction, feeling that justice wasn't served for her. Assistant Ramsey County Attorney Ambrosia Mosby Velasco explained that accepting the plea deal wasn't an easy decision. They had to weigh various factors, including the lack of evidence for premeditation, Mark pleading guilty to intentional murder, a witness claiming to have seen Latifa pointing a gun at Mark, Mark's DNA found only on the gun's muzzle, and his cooperation with the investigation by staying on the scene. Mosby Velasco suggested that if the case had gone to trial, Mark's attorney could have argued self-defense, possibly resulting in a not guilty verdict. When Latifa Brown was killed, her son wasn't at home. Mark's mother was looking after him that night, and she's had temporary custody of him ever since. Judge Barch emphasized that the child deserves to be surrounded by love and encouraged Mark to ensure his son has ample time with Latifa's family, a sentiment Mark agreed with. She urged them not to let Latifa's tragic death overshadow her memory, especially for her son's sake. Latifa's sister shared her devastation over her sister's death, highlighting Latifa's deep desire to be a mother and her joy when she finally had her miracle baby after struggling with miscarriages. What happened to Latifa Brown should never have happened. An argument should never have escalated to murder. The tragic end of Latifa's life serves as a reminder that abuse, in any form, is never acceptable and should not be tolerated. When someone abuses you, giving them multiple chances often leads to more harm. Abuse rarely gets better on its own, in most cases, it only gets worse over time. The cycle of abuse is a dangerous pattern, where the abuser's apologies and promises to change are followed by repeated violence and manipulation. It's crucial to understand that abuse is never okay. It doesn't matter if the abuser apologizes or shows moments of kindness, these do not erase the harm done. Abuse can take many forms: physical, emotional, verbal, or psychological. Each type is damaging and can have long-lasting effects on a person's well-being. If you or someone you know is in an abusive relationship, it's important to seek help immediately. Reach out to friends, family, or professional support services. Remember, you deserve to be safe, respected, and valued. No one should have to endure what Latifa went through. It is essential to break the cycle of abuse and ensure that such tragedies are prevented in the future. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.